Hi, today we are going to practice which knob goes to which burner on the stove. So you will need 4 different colored markers. You will need scissors, white paper, and if you have colored paper, you can use that, or you can just use the markers to color your white paper. Every stove is different, so I recommend that you figure out where your piece of paper can go, where it's going to be safe, and where it matches up next to the burner, whether it's to the side or underneath. This strip will go along the side of my burners to demonstrate for you. And as you can see, the 2 bottom circles are filled in to represent which knob will turn on which burner. The same goes for the second strip that I put for the burners at the top. So this is on one side at the top, this is on the other side at the top. And when I line it up on the stove, it will match and it will be easier for your child to differentiate visually and be able to locate manually. Let's get started. After you create this for your child, this is a game that you can play away from the stove. And I recommend that you do this several times before going to the stove to help your child understand the concept and practice without the pressure of being at the stove. So what you can do is remove the circles, and you can ask your child to turn on a certain color or burner. So you would ask, which one will turn on blue? So your child should be able to point to the correct one. They should be able to visually, so this is going to help them visually locate the correct one. So it would be this one. This will turn on blue. Then you want to go to the next one. Which one will turn on green? There it is. Okay, and which one will turn on red? There's red. Okay, last one, black. Find the one that will turn black on. There's black. Then with your colored circles, what you can do is line them up next to the correct color and then point to the square that you want them to turn on so they can find the color and put it on the spot. Okay, you have to turn on this one. Find it. There it is, very good. Okay, now you have to turn on this one. Which one do you have to get? Oh, this one's flipped upside down. Yes, very good. That's the bottom left. You can use directions for position as well. Find the one that will turn on the bottom right. Okay, now find the one that will turn on the top right. All right, now this is a great game to play, and as long as it's associated and lined up with the way that your burner is set up, because every stovetop is different. Have fun playing, and once you get some practice with that, we can go to the stove. I put the paper on the stovetop and on the backsplash. Okay, so there are several activities that you can do here at the stovetop without turning the burners on, just to practice visually locating and manually locating the knobs that go to the correct spot. So you can use directions for colors. You can use directions such as top, bottom, left, and right. It all depends on what your child responds to best, and sometimes we don't even know until we try it and see how your child responds, because we want it to be individualized and we want it to be the correct supports that will help your child continue to make progress. So for example, you can start off by labeling which burner is the correct color. So red is this one. If you want, you can also cut out a big red circle to put on top while the stove is not being turned on. Black is the lower left, green is the upper right, and blue is the lower right. Once you start practicing, you'll start getting used to which words your child responds to best. But I would start out by labeling everything, and then you can move on to another activity to say, if you turn this knob on, which burner will light up? Which one will turn on? So they have the color code here, the color code here, and they should be able to point to figure out that this is the burner that would turn on. You can say, okay, which knob do you have to turn on for this burner to work? And it would be this one because it's blue. It's the lower right-hand corner. Another way you can do the activity is you can point to this burner or knob and say, okay, which burner will turn on if you turn this knob? Which one will turn on over here? So by pointing to the knob, they should be able to figure out with the visuals which one will turn on. And then if you turn this knob, which burner will turn on? And by looking at the visuals, they should be able to figure out that it's going to be the upper right-hand burner that turns on. After your child gets used to the stovetop, you can go back to practicing cracking open eggs. If you don't want to cook eggs, you can use some vegetables to stir fry, and that way they can still get practice with stirring and using the stovetop.